To kind of wrap this up, I did want to go through this briefly to show a couple concepts. This is, and this is a big change for the county as you go to a paper-based system, is that you have things like voter intent issues, where voters are not always very good at reading directions and following directions when filling out ballots, and that can lead to issues like shown on the screen. So this is an actual ballot that's been scanned on the ICC, the ImageCast Central. This is the front of the ballot. I can zoom in and out, and I'll just hide these overlays. This is a pretty common thing that you see when you have paper ballots. Even absentee, but even in precinct, somebody makes a mark. They don't want to go down to the elections office to get a new ballot, so they scratch it out. They make a little note. When this ballot gets scanned, if we look at the audit mark, because again, this is our patented record of how the ballot was interpreted when it was scanned, you can see it's being counted as an overvote right now, right? Because it's got marks, identifiable marks for 2 candidates and a vote for 1. But with our adjudication system, in the past, jurisdictions would have to actually physically duplicate this ballot onto a new ballot, rescan it, retabulate it. Our system, we can do everything digitally, so I can go here and I can simply make a selection, vote removed for choice Howard Hughes. And if I complete that, that ballot is no longer an overvote, it's now a vote for the intended candidate. Moves on to the next ballot that needs to be addressed. I can show you what happens. I go back here, I open up that ballot again. Here's the audit mark. Now there's an appended record that shows that a mark was removed for Howard Hughes, and now it is a valid vote for Amelia Earhart. Right? That's the kind of transparency and auditability that our system has and nobody else does. For Howard Hughes, and now it is a valid vote for Amelia Earhart. Right? That's the kind of transparency and auditability that our system has and nobody else does.
So far we've scanned 113,130 ballots. We've adjudicated over 106,000. Those have been published on the site. So those results are already posted. We are, as you can see, like we've been doing all day, we've been opening ballots. We open them at these machines, then they go over to where they're flattened, and then they go over to the scanner. So it's a time-consuming process. Once they get to the scanner, we send them over to English Street. There's a vote review panel over there, and we're adjudicating them from there. The only ballots that are adjudicated are if we have a ballot with a contest on it in which there's some question as to how the computer reads it. So the vote review panel then determines voter intent.
Fulton County in all for this election. Where are you now with the process?
We're probably close. We have somewhere near 142,000 that we'll be at the end of the process. We've scanned 113,130 as of moments ago. We've adjudicated 106,000 plus of those. The 106,000, those have already been published on the website. We're going to run more frequent batch updates over to English Street so we can get the vote review panel to update those, to go through those and adjudicate those so we can get more updates throughout the night. So,
how many flags for
can I what? Okay. No. Well, no, but you can't publish a batch until that batch goes through adjudication. Because what it does, any ballots in there that are flagged to be adjudicated by the vote review panel, those have to be dealt with before you can publish that batch. So the vote review panel will go through and they'll see any contest that's on a ballot that has some question as to the way it was marked. The vote review panel then decides voter intent. The way it was marked. The vote review panel then decides voter intent. We don't. None of the ballots get rejected. All that happens is if you make a determination on a contest on a ballot whether the voter intended to vote for this person or this person. So there aren't any rejections. If a ballot is rejected, it's done before you get to this process for either missing signature or signature mismatch. So once it goes through the scanner, it's going to count the ballot. It's just that there may be a question on one race or contest on that ballot.
Audit the ballot. We've got a little bit into that. We have a dual threshold technology. Ian, if you wanted to step in and mention this.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those technical issues. Again, having not really dealt with a lot of paper in the past in this county, when you're dealing with paper, you're counting pixels essentially within the oval, right? And just because scanners tend to scan slightly differently from scanner to scanner, from day to day, you get smudges, whatever. Old optical mark recognition systems had a single threshold. So anything below was definitely not a vote. Anything above was a vote. The problem is if you have a mark that's right on that threshold. Scanning it multiple times, you can get different results. So what we've done is, instead of having a single threshold level, we have a dual threshold level. So we have a lower bound. Anything below the lower bound is not a vote. Anything above the upper bound is a vote. And anything in between is what we call an ambiguous or marginal mark. Right? How we use that is in-person voting. The tabulator will actually not accept a ballot with a marginal mark. So it forces the voter, because they're standing right there, to make their intent clear. So we try to eliminate that issue of results changing in any kind of recounts, because you've got a mark right in that single threshold. Absentee ballots, obviously we don't have the voter there, so we don't have direct control, but anything with a marginal mark is also sent to adjudication. So you can look at things like, is the mark consistent? Is it a hesitation mark? And then you can make that determination on what the voter's intent was.